2008, our minds and pocketbooks wandered to 2009. What is your financial plan for the new year? What are next year's unique goals or challenges that you need to prepare for? Certified financial planner Paul Fain joins us again to look at your money and what makes sense. Paul, how do we start planning for 2009?
And you know, we were talking about during the break just how incredible it is that it's here. The New Year's already here. But you know, I think, Stoney, it starts with just identifying, you know, an individual or family's goals. And you know, the financial world has just been turned upside down in the past year. So, you know, revisiting what are my goals and what are the top priorities in those goals. And it's going to probably involve making some tough choices, because when you think about it, you know, we only have so much take-home pay to distribute over all of our goals, which are usually plentiful. So, you know, is it still saving for retirement? Is it trying to put back money for a child in college, or is it paying down debt? Is it building up a cash reserve? And of course, the reality right now, Stoney, is that a lot of families just, you know, they just need to make ends meet. Right. That could be the goal, so they need to be thinking through strategies to do that.
And we always hear budget, budget, budget. I guess budgeting is very important.
It is, and of course now more than ever, because it's that process of taking your known income and allocating it across expenses, and ideally creating some discretionary income that you can then, you know, distribute towards these various goals on this priority list. Here again, you know, this year maybe the top priority is to develop a budget, just so that we can, and you may have to suspend certain things. You may have to suspend or reduce a retirement plan contribution, yada yada. You may have to cut back on a college fund to make ends meet in this current economic environment.
What do you think some of those goals are for 2009?
Well, I think most people are going to be looking at ways to cut back spending. I think that's where they're coming from, into coming out of the holiday, of course, where we usually overspend. How to cut back on spending, how to reduce debt, and how to build up a little savings fund. Because when you're going through a financial crisis of such global proportions, it trickles down into our pocketbooks, and we find out we really find out how much we're in debt and how little savings we have. So a lot of folks, I think, are going to be cutting back spending, trying to whittle away at these debts and build up a little more cash reserves so they don't have to go into debt to deal with any type of emergency.
And right now, as you said, is so important, just to kind of keep an eye on the checkbook and on the balancing.
It's exactly that. It's that, you know, it doesn't have to be some type of fancy spreadsheet model to keep a budget. It's just a process of regularly, every week or two, checking in, holding yourselves accountable to, you know, responsible spending.
I know one person told me once just to keep a journal, really, and just write down. How would you do that? If you wanted to keep a journal, is that a good idea?
It certainly can be, which is more of a narrative of, you know, in terms of keeping up with spending. It could just be keeping a running total in a journal of your spending and experiencing, okay, I ran over today and here's why I did. And that actually is a brilliant idea, because it puts you in touch with why you spend and how you spend.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always very important, as you said, right now, to really watch.
It is. Good to see you, Stoney.
Thank you so much. And sports is next.